how I actually draw the spiral. And the spiral can be drawn in different sizes, and the way that I like to do it, or the way I discovered was easy to do it, is to have different size objects, round objects, and that's what these circles here are. And I start with that. Let's draw these in different colors just so you can see. So what I did, like I say, I drew my lines, and then I kind of centered these up here to draw this as close to the center. You know, they're not quite perfect, but you can spend as much time centering as you want to get it as perfect. I just want to show you the actual process. I'm going to line this up in my circle, and I'm going to start with this wrapped tightly around the dowel here, and holding that in place and keeping the pin straight up and down. I can, as I unwrap this from the dowel, and you have to sometimes set it down, or you need to have somebody else hold it for you, but try to keep the pin, I have mine at an angle, but if you can keep it straight up and down, that's good. But as you unwrap around that dowel, you're going to have a spiral form. So there's a smaller spiral. You can draw even smaller by having a even smaller dowel here. So now I'm going to step up to a jar. Just happens to be what I have available here. You can use any kind of round objects that you have of whatever size. So I'm going to do the same thing. I wrapped that all the way around, and I have this right up against the pin, right up against the container here with this drawn tight. And now I'm going to center this in its circle, and I'm going to start on this same top axis line here. That's where we started the other spiral, just so you can see the difference in the sizes of the spirals that happen. I guess I should use a different color pen. I was ready, I promise. I just am not thinking clearly this morning. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I apologize for that. So we're going to just start over here. I'm going to draw over top of that other line. So you can see that my red spiral is a little bit tighter. I started here and I went around one time and I was there. With the green line, I started here, I went around one time, and you can see I'm all the way out here now. So let's do this one more time. So now with the purple line, I once again started here and went out and around, and my first cross of this same line is even further out here. So this here is the distance in between my two crosses of the same point in my line. So that's a nice wide gap here. What I'm looking to do is draw 5 more lines in here. So if you use the red one, those lines are going to be stacked up right on top of each other. The green one, they're going to be stacked up in this space, but with the purple one, I'm going to have this much space. So that is how I draw a spiral onto tapestry, a t-shirt, whatever. Like I say, you can use something smaller and make a smaller spiral, but this here is good for more than just tie-dye. So I'm going to put this video out there, so hopefully more people that are having troubles drawing their spiral, this might help them figure it out. But let's go ahead and get moved in now. I'm going to get this drawn onto a tapestry, so stay tuned while I get set up. There, then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to use just one size container. So you want to pick the size that you want your spiral, and then you're going to use that to draw all of your lines so that they all match up together. I'm going to place this in the center. That's where I'm going to place it each time, and then it's just going to turn. When I put my marker in, I'm going to change for each line. So I'm doing this line in red, this line in orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So what I have done, let me zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, so around the circle I just made myself a little dot, just so I can remember and I don't use the wrong color marker as I'm drawing my lines. So let's zoom back out. Oop. The other direction. Okay. So now I'm going to go in and start drawing my lines. Just the same way that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Make sure that my line, my sinew or kite string, whatever type of string you tie around your item, make sure that's nice and tight. And then I'm going to wrap it all the way up till my pen is right up against there. And then I'm going to just turn the bottle until my marker is right over that red dot, which is this top line here, the 0 degrees. Okay, and I'm making sure that this here is inside my circle. Then I can hold that in place. And like I say, I try to hold my marker straight up and down, but sometimes I go at an angle. If you go at an angle, then just try to stay at that same angle. So here we go. Okay, and there's one full circle, and I've decided that what I want to do is 1.5 on these. So I'm starting here, I went around one time, and I'm going to bring it all the way around to here, and I don't have room on my table to do that all in one pull, so I'm going to draw this around as much as I can. Right here would go off the table, so what I'm going to do is just slide the whole thing, making sure that I do not move that, smooth this out, and now I have room to hold that in place, pick this up, stretch it out, and finish my circle. So that brings it out to 1.5 times around, and I'm going to do that for each one of them. So let's bring this back. Okay, switch to orange. Wrap this back up. And now I'm going to line up where I'm on over top of my orange dot, which is this line out here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go around. And there's one time around, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go as far as I can, set this down, and slide my tapestry over. Because now I want to come all the way around to this line here, because I want to do 1.5 turns. Okay, there's my orange. And you can see that gave me a nice spacing right here. The smaller circles would have put those even closer together, which makes it harder to tie the orbs unless you're doing smaller orbs. Okay, now the yellow one. Of course, you guys won't be able to see the yellow as well, but it'll be there. So tighten that back up. And now I'm starting with this line down here. And you can see that that's putting a nice spacing on all of these lines. And there is the rainbow spiral. You can see how these lines are all fairly evenly spaced out here.